We did this right after Chinese Bookie, didn't we?
That's right. Well, Chinese Bookie, of course, it became one of my, well, after Husbands, I guess, my fondest project. And the fact that it wasn't accepted by the critics really hurt. And going back to work with John, with such enthusiasm and optimism, he was indomitable. This guy just burrowed ahead. Nobody could conquer him. You know? You never knew. I've never saw him moan or complain.
Never.
So the fact that the Chinese Bookie hadn't done well financially, he still put up his own money to do opening night.
Yep.
Didn't stop him.
What are you thinking about?
Are you home?
Am I home?
Oh, God.
What do you mean, am I home?
Well, I remember the first day of shooting, for instance. And I was really, came down to Pasadena, right?
Yeah.
I thought it would be a theater the size of the Morosco or the Booth or the Music Box. No, it seemed like Radio City Music Hall.
Right.
3,000 people could fit there. It's unbelievable. I said, now, wait a minute. Now, he's going to have to fill this with extras, right? And they showed up. Real people, not extras.
Put a little ad.
Put a little ad
in the Pasadena paper, right? And said anybody who has.
They not only they show up in black tie and long, and then the reaction to the material. Oh, you could never get that from real professional actors.
They were so wonderful.
Terrific.
It's hard to cover it up.
Congratulations.
It's hard to cover it up. It is very hard to cover it up. My heart.
Well, you remember, John said, you know, we can't, because you have to change and set up, you know, and we're used to it in the film business, but it's pretty boring to wait for 45 minutes while thing. And John said, we can't expect them just to sit there.
He'd go out and entertain them.
Go out and entertain them. He said, go out and do that slow motion boxing you do. I said, Johnny, I have heels this high, I have a tight black dress, a hat.
Yeah.
He said, go on, it doesn't matter, they'll understand. Then, so I did. And then they had, then all the other guys, I think it was Draper, went out and sang.
Right.
And Finnegan went out and sang, and then they told stories just to fill up that thing. And they just sat there so nicely, so appreciative.
Terrific. And then, of course, there's Joan Blondell and Paul Stewart and these people who never worked in this fashion before. So Joan Blondell just didn't know where the camera would be, you know, because he's following her with the handheld. She said, is he going to follow me to the bathroom? Is he going to follow me all over with that thing? What is that thing?
What is that thing? She said, I can't tell whether anyone's acting or not, or they're just talking.
Are they acting? Are they not? Are we on a break? She was so sweet.
She was thorough.
So Joan played in the play that she was lovely. After she found out what she was supposed to do, she was lovely. And she was supposed to do nothing.
Yeah, just relax. And she was, I don't know if the word endearing is good enough for her.
She got a Golden Globe nomination.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me? It's wonderful.
This is my wife. She's a princess. See my kids? I got a lot of kids.
John Toole, do you remember who? The big, handsome guy that plays in the play within the play. Yes, and he comes in, and he was a teamster.
I know. He wasn't an actor.
He wasn't an actor.
John rehearsed them more than he rehearsed us.
He certainly did. He just saw him as great big guy. He's just exactly right. And somehow he talked him into doing it. I imagine he must have been terrified to walk on that stage and see 3,000 or 4,000 people sitting there. And yet...
He was good.
He was wonderful.
Yes, he was.
One day...
I'm sorry.
He was holding me. I can't remember, some action in the play. And John got talking to him. And talking to him and talking. And they were talking and talking. And he was a big guy. He was a strong guy. And I thought, I think I should get down. And finally... John said, it was about 4 minutes he was standing there with. If I said, oh, put her down. And he did. He was so funny. He wrote such a nice letter after John died, and he said that it had been the high point of his life, and that there's anything he could do for any of us, he would.
So sweet.
He was sweet.
Dumping coffee into a black coffee.
Your drunk scenes are terrific.
I
You
love
did another one in Minnie and Moskowitz said, you know who talked about that with me? Audrey Hepburn.
Really?
She thought that was a wonderful scene where you're falling down the stairs, you know. How beautifully you did that, how, like a dancer, she said. And yeah, and then you did like a dancer. It was wonderful, wonderful. And I have to make you,
And you have to
make you, but we
And my face
never
is
rehearsed
like-
it.
I know. Putting that makeup on, which
Oh,
is
that was it,
impossible when someone's
And we
doing
did it in
that.
one, you know. I
That's
mean, the
once.
first time was good. That's right. He covered it a little bit with the handheld, but the first time out, we struck gold. It was never better. But only John could get away with that.
Yeah.
An actress that drunk, you'd put her in the hospital. You know, he put you on stage.
I've acted with actresses that drunk.
In those days, you were a teetotaler, more or less.
Well, compared to you guys,
You're right. God, the booze we consumed.
John was very interesting in the way he wrote the men movies and the women movies as people broke them up. And truly they were. I can understand how he knew about the guys. But really, I never was quite sure how he knew so much about women. And faces and stuff, when those older women were acting with Seymour, and he could just make all their dreams, you could see what they were as younger people and what they're striving for. And
That kiss in Faces, for instance, where Seymour kisses the older lady, was so beautiful.
beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful. You never saw that in film.
In all of his movies, actually, he shows a great deal of compassion and understanding.
He liked women.
I'm not ready to play grandmothers yet. You know, you're very clever. If I'm good at this part, my career is severely limited.
Limited to what?
Once you're convincing in a part, the audience accepts you as that.
As what?
As old, that's what old.
Well, was it really, the fear of aging the main issue in her?
I personally think she just didn't want to be in a lousy show. The writer, Joan Blondell, she was the one who was really age conscious. And she was pushing it and pushing it.
How old are you?
Well, if you can't say your age, then you can't accept my play.
My character was also getting old and older, and not able to play the young part. She couldn't, so she could see the handwriting on the wall.
This girl who haunts you, who keeps showing up, is part of her existence in your imagination, or is she real? Does she really get killed out there, or is it a metaphor for something else?
I thought that it was my imagination.
Right.
I'm the one that saw her get killed.
Yeah.
I'm the one that said, "Stop the car." So
Right.
there was a girl, and then I'm the one that called the police.
Yeah.
And then I'm the one that was there when I got rid of her at the end. But nobody else really seemed to really see her.
What the hell are you doing?
If I could rid myself of you.
Are you going over your lines?
I definitely thought that it was
In your imagination. That's what I thought. What was the name of that girl?
Laura
She
Johnson.
was good.
Yeah, she was in Harry Master George's.
Very
Place.
pretty girl.
The music.
Beautiful girl and very talented. Harry came up with, he had a great acting class out here, and he was a friend of John's. They'd gone to school together. So he called and he said, "You should really try this girl out because she's wonderful." And she was.
Yes, she was.
I'm 17 years old. I like sex. I like to turn people on. And that's what the theater is. It's sex.
People say that John is so realistic, and that young girl of my imagination, and it was so surreal that it was hard to understand. It did seem surreal, but we actors know that is realistic, because actors use anything they can to get to where their character has to be, and sometimes they make up amazing things, or they do amazing things that sane people wouldn't do. And she did. Myrtle did need her. And she needed the youth, her youth.
I want youth. super strength, dream building, happiness, fun, emotion.
Babe.
Practically anything.
Babe.
No.
I love you.
No.
I love you.
Hey, no.
I am Superman!
Hey.
I realized how dangerous it is to try to recapture what you had when you were young. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's not right. It's not in rhythm with the world. And so I thought that was a wonderfully conceived idea by John.
Yeah. John talked about aging a great deal during the shooting of this picture.
Yeah.
I mean, he might have been talking about himself, too.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
When I look at my face in the mirror when I'm shaving in the morning, you know what I see? I can see it then in my face. It's hard to cover it up. There's something deeply cynical about my face.
And then he said that funny line. He said, we're not the same. He said, there's something wrong with a smile. I've thought of that often because there is something wrong with a smile.
Yeah.
And he said, we're not us. And he said, you think someone come and get us at night and steal us in our sleep? And it's something that I'm sure resonates with anybody who is not 25.
There's someone posing here as us, and you're right. There is something definitely wrong with your smile.
And, and we're doing that thing back and forth. And he said, okay, I have a problem. And how do I solve this? I'm getting old.
I'm getting older. What do we do about that?
And it really hit me on stage.
I do want to be your friend.
Yeah, well, I don't want to be your friend.
It was not the script.
No.
We were doing it there on stage for the first time while they were shooting.
Yeah.
Terrific. The point is, it didn't seem loosey-goosey, improvised. It seemed structured.
When was I ever funny?
I never heard you tell one stinking joke and you never laugh at anyone else.
I used to be funny. I used to be very funny.
When?
When I was a kid.
I felt a little jealous because you'd come in the next day and have this remarkable relationship with each other, joking around on stage, changing the script. Part of it is improvising the material to loosen it up. And I always wondered, how did you guys do that? How did you do that?
We didn't.
Did you do it at night?
No, we didn't. We talked about what we'd shot during the day.
Yeah.
And things that we got a special kick out of. But I didn't know any more than you did about going into the next day.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Never did on anything. John would say something, I'd answer.
Want to see something wonderful?
Yes.
And he'd have a certain attitude, and I'd have an attitude back. And,
What do you call good actors?
The place where he starts to go like this, and I like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was coming.
The shaking of the hands?
Yeah. Check that. And then they said, put your leg out.
Could you raise your right leg? The other way, please? No. The other way, please.
And that was the first time you had heard those lines?
Absolutely.
Remarkable, because really, I'm not kidding. It seemed like it was rehearsed at home. I thought, oh, those guys, that's what they do. They go home and they rehearse.
I guess a lot of people would think that, but we didn't.
Well, the scene with Zora Lambert, when Zora and I, you say it's a strange marriage, and I got into that scene expecting, well, she'll freeze me out, she'll be sulking, the phone will ring, you're on the phone asking me to come up, and she'll get jealous, and you'll see a close-up of her face. The way I directed with the jealousy, maybe tears coming out. No, she started making faces, doing them, falling off the bed, annoying me, pulling on me, etc., etc. And that was all a surprise, and it made the scene work, of course.
She was wonderful, and you're trying to keep your star from being hysterical, and your wife from leaving, and she's going sinuously across the bed, and it was funny.
And not letting her know how much affection I feel toward you and all that stuff. Yeah, she was wonderful in the scene.
You see, you have no sense of humor. I told you that.
And then, of course, who would know? I thought Al Rubin, for instance, was the producer, the money man. I didn't know. It was the best kept secret from me that he was going to photograph. He was our DP. Our director of photography, until I got down there to see him ordering people around. I said, what, are you the cameraman? Yeah. How about this? Yeah, well, I thought the camera work was first class.
Oh, I did too.
And people looked, the faces were wonderful.
Yeah.
People looked good.
Al taught himself too.
That's self-taught.
Yeah, he was self-taught. He did faces.
I know.
And I asked John.
That's his favorite picture, faces.
I asked John at the time, I said, what is it that it makes one cameraman better? I said, what quality is it? And John said, for me, he said, it's the skin.
Yeah.
He said, when I want to reach out and touch the skin,
Yeah.
he said, then the cameraman has done his work.
Right.
And Al certainly did. He was wonderful.
No tricks.
No.
Just some beautiful, gorgeous.
I seem to have lost the reality of the reality.
All of those huge pictures hanging as backed up
on the wall of the old Greek lady.
Yeah, that Sam Shaw had taken when he was there with Tony Quinn, actually doing Zorba. He went around all the islands taking the.
I met Sam Shaw in 1955 when he came backstage with Joe DiMaggio when Joe was married to Marilyn Monroe.
Really?
To see me in Cannon on Tin Roof. He seemed to have been the favorite sounding board and amanuensis of artists.
Yeah. John just
and
loved
John used them a great deal to throw ideas at him, to walk the floor.
And his knowledge of art was extensive.
Yes, I know.
And
he wasn't verbal. He was not a verbal person.
No.
But he was highly intelligent.
Yeah. And they do the posters together.
They'd start doing the posters before they made the film. No, I mean, they started doing the campaign before they made the film. I love that about John, yeah. Well, we never talked about John in that regard. His sense of PR, his sense of publicity was terrific. His sense of style, his ad campaigns wound up to be wonderful. The one for Woman Under the Influence was terrific. Yeah.
And then we just jump up and go put them all around.
Well, me, John, and whoever, we go with the rolls of posters for husbands, put them all over New York.
Yes.
Must have visited 9,000 bars and restaurants.
And people loved them. They were happy to put them up.
Yeah. They were beautiful posters.
They were
beautiful.
And Sam has a great deal of responsibility.
John would never have one poster, there'd be 3 different ones.
Yes. When you think of it, all independents can hardly get the money to finish a film, much less by
publicity.
Advertising in the newspapers or magazines or, God forbid, television. It's just more than the movie costs. So then he and Sam came up with making those beautiful posters.
Well, you know better than I do about the money problems at issue often when John made a picture, because it was money. The money was going, and it was his money, and we had to close down the picture for a month.
Yeah.
So he could, and nobody moved, nobody took another job. Isn't that interesting? Nobody. He said, "We're going to make it. Give me some time," and then he came back in a month.
Everyone.
And he had the picture. I think that opened the big theater where his office was. Big Fox.
Wilshire?
Fox Wilshire. He opened it just before the Academy.
I don't think it was well received.
No.
Was it?
It was open. He opened it a couple of weeks before the Academy Awards, I remember. And then he pulled it, and he didn't open it again anywhere until
Europe.
In Europe. And there again, the Europeans adored his work. In one
very popular picture in Europe. Yeah.
Well, in Europe, Europe found John, didn't he?
Yeah.
Didn't Europe?
Oh yes.
England found Shadows.
And then France really embraced him after that.
That's right. Yeah. Even today, the Europeans have a whole other. I mean, his name in France is magic.
Do you find that people remember? I mean, it's been a long time since we made those.
They remember the films.
Do they?
They sure do. And now, of course, every college kid seems to know about Johnson here in America.
Well, those film schools.
All those film schools, etc. He's become a kind of a god. And one of the reasons was, opening night. You would think a film about the theater and a film so out there about the theater would not interest these kids, but they seem to be interested.
I am always surprised, too, at that. I knew it would interest us and the rest of the actors.
Yeah. If you look at any of his films today, they're as fresh or fresher than they were when he made them. I don't know really the answer to that. It's the way he shot, what he looked for in behavior of people, etc. That was just unlike any director that's ever worked. And when he heard the word auteur or a director's film, he said it made me want to vomit. You know,
He hated that.
He hated that auteur word. He said the film is between the director and the actors. That's what makes the films. He said he didn't even say the directors, he said the actors.
I just think you look at John's films and you know they're fiction, but you know you're not being lied to.
Right.
He was the real goods, and you just feel it looking at his picture, and I think that fascinates people.
It does too. It doesn't make it. You see, he doesn't lead you in sentiment, or he lead you in laughter, or leave you in anger. You really have to work hard when you're watching a Kaza Weti's film. They're not easy.
Oh no,
they're not easy at all, because they I don't know. You expect someone to laugh and they cry. You expect someone to get angry and they laugh. It's all strange.
Sometimes people would laugh.
Yeah.
And the other people in the audience would say, shh, hush.
Yeah, right. I'm going to tell this. I never told this before. John came to see Huey duet, a virtual one-man show I did where I got great reviews, but business was off and we were closing and I was down. And he came to see the closing night. And we go across the street to eat and he said, Ben, we're going to do a picture together. So I said, yeah, John, pictures. Don't you like the theater? Now I'm into the theater, right? I said, you don't want to do theater? Why is it you like film so much? And he said, immortality. I'll never forget that. And he has it, doesn't he? He was right.
It was a wonderful period.
Yeah.
The feeling amongst all of this group.
Yeah.
I don't know that it happens very often, really.
Oh, it doesn't happen. I'm sure there are groups around town of young kids who like each other and work with each other. But not as exciting as we were.
Truly.
Yeah, truly.